Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, Manchester mother charged with child trafficking. A 45-year-old Manchester mother who allegedly exploited her teen daughter to be sexually assaulted at a bar in exchange for payment for alcohol has been charged with child trafficking. The woman was charged by investigators assigned to the Trafficking in Persons Unit of the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch. The police say the charge stems from an incident involving the exploitation and the sexual assault of her 13-year-old child. Reports are that in September 2020, the woman went to a bar with her child to get alcoholic beverages. However, she was unable to pay. According to the police, in exchange for payments for the liquor, she orchestrated the sexual assault of her child by multiple men at the bar. Following the incident, the child fled her home. A report was made to the Child Protection and the Family Services Agency, which brought the matter to the attention of the unit in 2024, which launched an investigation. On Friday, February 21, 2025, the mother of the child was arrested and charged with the offense following an interview. The men who allegedly assaulted the teen girl are still being sought by the police. The head of the unit, Detective Inspector Kimisha Gordon, has reiterated the Jamaica Constabulary Force's pursuit of individuals who prey on the vulnerable. This is a serious matter, and we were unrelenting in our efforts to bring the accused into custody. Human trafficking is a violation of human rights that destroys lives and communities. No child should be subjected to exploitation, and no perpetrator should go unpunished, Gordon said. This arrest underscores our commitment to the safety of children and all citizens against human trafficking, she added. According to the Trafficking in Persons Prevention, Suppression and Punishment Act, a child is defined as a person under the age of 18. The possible maximum sentence for trafficking a child is 30 years imprisonment. The police say the incident remains under active investigation as detectives work to identify and apprehend the other individuals involved in the crime. They are urging anyone with information to contact the Trafficking in Persons Unit at CTOC at 876-967-1389, Crime Stop at 311, the National Intelligence Bureau at 811, or the police 119 emergency number. Man charged for chopping another with a machete granted $300,000 bail. 20-year-old Nathan White, who is charged with using a machete to chop a man, was on Friday granted bail of $300,000 with a surety in the St. Catherine Parish Court. White, who is from Yuatan, is charged with wounding with intent. Your Honor, my client acted in self-defense. He was at home when he heard strange sounds outside the house. He armed himself and encountered the complainant, who ran at him. The complainant then suddenly spun around when he was injured, argued his attorney, Kemar Robinson. White was ordered to report to the Satan's Bay Police Station on Saturdays. The case is set to return to court on May 16. Allegations are that on January 27, the complainant was walking through a pathway when he was alerted by a dog and ran off. He reportedly observed the accused running after him with a machete. During the chase, the complainant fell and White allegedly began chopping at him. The complainant raised his left hand, which was almost severed. He was assisted to the Linstead Hospital, where he was admitted for treatment. The matter was reported to the Yuatan Police Station, and an investigation led to White's arrest and a subsequent charge of wounding with intent. Kingston Western cops make arrest in 2023 murder. Continuous investigative work by the Kingston Western Police has resulted in a man being arrested and charged for a murder committed more than a year ago. On Friday, detectives from the division slapped 25-year-old Ryan McFarlane, otherwise called the Engine, from Oxford Street to Kingston with several charges. McFarlane is charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and making use of a firearm to commit a felony. He was charged for the killing of 31-year-old Christopher Taylor of Woodrow Street in Jonestown, Kingston 12. Taylor was shot dead at the intersection of North and Oxford Streets, Kingston on October 12, 2023. Reports are that around 1:54 a.m., Taylor was standing at the intersection when he was pounced upon by several men armed with firearms. The men opened fire, hitting him in the upper body before escaping on foot along Oxford Street. Taylor was transported to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. Following investigations, McFarlane was taken into custody by the police last Saturday. He was placed on an identification parade on Wednesday and was positively identified. He was later charged following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. Court decision in security guard contracts case set for May. The judge in the case brought against the security companies is to hand down his decision in May. The case was brought by the Union of Clerical Administrative and the Supervisory Personnel against the new contracts the guards were being asked to sign. Security companies were requiring the guards to sign new contracts after the courts ruled that the guards were not independent contractors, but rather employees and due all attendant benefits. The guards claimed that their years of service and the benefits due to them would have all been erased by signing the new contract to keep their jobs. Many of the guards signed, but there were some holdouts. UK's President Vincent Morrison has been leading the charge in the courts, challenging the legality of the new contracts.
We wrote to the company, didn't get a response. We wrote to the ministry, didn't get a response. We had a meeting with the minister about the issue. He said he would speak to the company and get back to us. That was from maybe about 2 years, going 3 years now. We still haven't heard from the minister. Because we know that if you're working with an employer and then decide to change to a new company, then kind of pay off your service for the whole company and start you afresh with the new company. Or they can transfer your service to the new company. All of this wasn't done. And the technicians in the Ministry of Labour wrote to the company and point this out to them. Because this is something that we have been doing for years. And I won't say anything further because we're in the courts. We had a hearing on the 19th and the judge said we must come back on the 9th of May for judgment.
PNP slips in poll, JLP support is sluggish. The opposition People's National Party has lost the momentum in the race towards the next general parliamentary election, slipping almost 4 points since the last poll was done in September. During the same period, though, the governing Jamaica Labour Party has hardly benefited from the PNP slippage, increasing its support by only 0.5%. In the latest RGR Gleaner commissioned Don Anderson poll, 35.4% of respondents say they would vote for the PNP as against 30.7% for the JLP. The poll was conducted late January to mid-February this year and canvassed the responses from 1,201 registered voters across the country. In the September poll, 39.3% of respondents said they would vote for the PNP, while in the latest poll, that percentage had dropped to 35.4%. Respondents in September 2024, 30.2% of respondents expressed the support for the JLP, and in the latest exercise, 30.7% said the same. The PNP's lead of 9.1% in September has therefore dropped to 4.7%. Pollster Don Anderson, commenting on the findings, noted that the fall in support for the People's National Party has not benefited the Jamaica Labour Party's standings. The number of uncommitted voters has increased by 11%, moving from 30.5% last September to 33.9% in the latest poll. In providing the reasons for their support, an equal split of 32% of those polled said their vote would be based on tradition.
When we did the poll in April, they were 7 percentage points ahead. This was increased to 9 percentage points in the September poll. So the trend favored the People's National Party during 2024. In fact, the momentum was with them until then. In the last 4 months, however, they have not been able to continue that appeal. It's interesting to note, though, that against the background of this fall off in voter support for the People's National Party, this has not gone to the benefit of the Jamaica Labour Party. Instead, the number of people who are uncommitted has increased, whereas the Jamaica Labour Party support has moved from 30.2% in September to 30.7% in the January-February poll. 32% equally said they would vote for the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party on the basis of tradition, whereas 16% said they would vote for the People's National Party because we need a change now, and 16% said they vote for the Jamaica Labour Party because they believe they would better manage the country.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.